Kind of crazy. It seems that human resources is now turning into hotel rooms. The idea is that like every week they're going to be dropping new challenges for you to complete in order to obtain the sneakers. What we just saw was not supposed to be caught on camera and was not supposed to be out there. All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the JPD podcast. I'm your host, Jean-Luc Daigle, and in this podcast, I go over everything from sneakers, fashion, pop culture, business, or whatever else I'm tapped into for the week. Today, I got a lot of things to talk about, from sneaker news to recent pickups, crypto week. We got the recent cheating scandal at Coldplay's concert at Gillette Stadium, UFC news, a whole lot of stuff going on. So before we get into everything, I'd like to thank you all for coming for the culture, and I hope you stay for the conversation. It's been a busy couple weeks for me, guys, so I do apologize for the delay in getting this episode out. We are recording this about midweek on let's see what the calendar real quick. It's a week of Monday the 14th. So if you guys watched last week's episode, I was getting ready to celebrate my 3-year anniversary with my girlfriend. So all last week was getting ready for that, and so didn't have any opportunity to record in advance like I normally do. We went to Fleming's in West Hartford, if anyone here is local to Connecticut. Fleming's, I think, is actually a chain of restaurants. I know there's one in Fort Lauderdale that I've seen before. I haven't stopped there. But went to the one in West Hartford, had a nice bone and ribeye, cooked medium rare, as you have to get your steak cooked, otherwise you're ruining it. But pretty solid. Give it like an 8.3, 8.5, something along those lines. Personally, my favorite steakhouse, though, that I go to is when I go do the trip to Fort Lauderdale for SneakerCon that I mentioned before with my buddies in January. And we go to Morton's, the steakhouse, and their bone and ribeye there is just, it's to die for. So, but anyway, it was a great dinner, great weekend with her, and on top of that, I was also super busy because it was one of my best friend's birthdays. So we decided to go to the Yankees game. It was the Yankees-Cubs game, and it was a brutal day. I mean, not only did the Yankees get absolutely smoked by the Cubs, it was just, the heat was just disgusting. It was 80, 90 plus degrees and crazy humidity. Where we were in the stands, I mean, the sun was to our backs the entire time. And fortunately enough, actually, one of the pickups we got was so Eric Emanuel did a special t-shirt that you could get for being an attendee at the game. So if you've been to any baseball games, they usually give some sort of not prize, but like a t-shirt or a hat or bobblehead, something to give back to the fans that get there early. So the first 18,000 fans at the Yankees game on Saturday got this free Eric Emanuel t-shirt. As you guys can see, it's got the Yankees on the chest, left side of the chest, and then on the back it says, "I went to Yankee Stadium and all I got was this Eric Emanuel t-shirt." Now, the reason why they were giving these t-shirts away, which first off, I gotta say, not the best quality that I was hoping for on this t-shirt. It's just honestly a basic Gildan t-shirt, nothing spectacular. It's pretty thin. I don't know if you guys can see, I don't know if the camera picks it up really well with the lighting, but you can kind of see the Yankees symbol, I think, through the shirt from the other side. I mean, they're really thin, really cheap. And because it was so hot, so I didn't get burned, I actually had this wrapped around my hat and my face to keep me cool because it was that brutal. But the reason why they were giving away these t-shirts was because Eric Emanuel actually did a collaboration with Yankees for a merch drop. So they did shorts as well as some shirts. I don't exactly recall everything else, but I'll throw a photo up for you guys on screen. It was crazy at the pro shop, to say the least. The line, because of how busy it was, they had to change up how you actually got into the store. and it wrapped around the interior of the stadium, and it was crazy. I mean, it was wild. But from what I did see, I think it completely sold out. The colorways of stuff were all right. It wasn't anything crazy. I was hoping that they did like all over prints, like gray or white or black shorts that had like the Yankee logo just stamped all over it. But I know it was in like these kind of wild colors, so I don't know. Not sure how I feel about it, but it was all right. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately the Yankees did lose. But I did manage to pick up a new Yankees hat. So as you guys can see, got a new Yankees A frame, new era 940 A frame, and I got the little 2000s World Series patch on the side. I've been really big on A frames, A frame hats lately, just because I unfortunately have a head size that's about what 7.5 is what I usually go with, but it kind of varies depending on how long my hair is, and honestly, the um, where the hats are made. So if it's in Bangladesh or Indonesia, um, they all fit a little bit differently. If you guys are familiar with New Era and their fitted hats, um, the the only other Yankee hat that I have is a fitted hat, again 7.5, and when I first got it, it seemed to fit me all right, but now for some reason it doesn't fit me, and my hair's actually shorter than when I first got my Yankees hat, so don't know how that happened. But yeah, I've been really big on the A-frame hats just because I like the look of them a little bit better. It's a lot cleaner on the front, as well as obviously the snapback adjustment that you get, which is really nice because as my hair's growing out, I can obviously adjust the strap and it'll still look just as good. So that was all I got in terms of Yankees pickups. But if you guys have been following the podcast for a bit, I have been talking about New Balance, specifically the 2002 Rs, for quite a bit. And if you saw last week's episode, I did talk about having hit on the Raincloud colorway. So that's what we got here. I'm going to open this up for you guys. Take a quick little look. Look at that, guys. Now, I got to say, I knew these were nice, but seeing them in person, just, they are so much nicer than I was expecting. Um, they as you guys can tell, they got like I talked about in the previous episodes, as well as my upcoming sneaker releases on my main channel. They come in that deconstructed upper, as well as having that vintage looking outsole and midsole. Just a more premium pair of 2002 Rs. um it's just it's weird. I didn't realize how different these were compared to a normal pair. um but they just, I don't know if they're heavier, but they definitely just they feel all around. The materials feel better, the construction of it feels better. I mean, it just all around is just such a clean shoe. So I'm hoping to get a lot of wears out of these this summer. If not this summer, I'm definitely gonna be rocking these in the fall. uh I I have mentioned before, I have at this point way too many pairs of shoes. I mean, if you guys are seeing in the background here, this stack of shoes, I think everything to about the Sean Witherspoon box here. These are all brand new shoes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of brand new shoes. Got 6 pairs of brand new shoes there. I got, actually, behind this wall, I have a bunch of other shoes, probably another 5 back there, and I got a few in my closet. So overall, I got like between 10 and 15 pairs of brand new shoes that I just have yet to wear, and I obviously I'm throwing these in there as well in the mix. So yeah, so it's I got a lot. I got a lot, to say the least, that I got to wear. So we'll see when I get to wear these, but I do have them officially in the collection, and I was able to hit these for retail, fortunately, from BSTN, which is a German retail site for footwear, and they, I think they ran about what 175 ish, something like that. It was, I think, a little bit more because it was from overseas, and with the currency conversion and shipping and all that for international, it was a little bit higher. Took about a week and a half or so, almost 2 weeks to come in. There's been nothing yet as far as a US release, so not sure what's going on there. Hopefully, I will double up on these, get another pair for retail, which would be really nice. I'm considering getting. I don't want to get the sea salt colorway because I'm not the biggest fan of white shoes, to be honest with you. But I am considering getting the Phantom colorway. So if I do get that, obviously you guys will see here on the podcast as well as on the personal channel. In terms of other pickups, I think that's it right now. There might be a few things that are coming in the mail that I've forgotten about. I know coming up this week is the Total Orange colorway of the Kobe 6s that are dropping in honor of WNBA All-Star Weekend. So excited to try my luck at those and hopefully hit on those, but who knows? I always have the worst luck, but I have been striking out on, or have been hitting on some Kobe's lately. So really hoping that I hit on those. Other than that, in terms of how busy it's been, guys, I just finished up the flyer for the next For the Culture event, so we'll be announcing that this week as well, which is very exciting. I'll probably throw a little promo in that at some point in this video, or rather this episode, for you guys. But yes, very excited about that. We're going to be planning it for September. I won't announce the official date yet until I get the promo and everything else. But by the time this comes out, it'll have been after we announced it, because we'll be announcing it for Friday the 25th. So this should be coming out either at that time or on the weekend. Guys, real quick, I'm interrupting to let you all know that For the Culture is officially returning to Trumbull, Connecticut on Saturday, September 20th, 2025. If you guys are new here, I started For the Culture back in 2022 with my two best friends with the idea to have a sneaker convention that was by sneakerheads for sneakerheads. If you want to buy, sell, and trade your sneakers, clothing, collectibles, and whatever else you have that's centered around sneaker culture with 100 plus vendors and 500 plus people, be sure to stop by For the Culture on Saturday, September 20th. Be sure to also get your pre-sale tickets and tables at fortheculturect.com. That's fortheculturect.com. I hope to see you guys there. So let's move into our main topics. So since we were just talking about the Kobe 6s, I think it's only right. Let me just move the mic a little bit. So as we were just talking about the Kobe 6s, I think it's only right that we talk some more WNBA news, specifically with Caitlin Clark. So if you guys saw last week's episode, I hit on the Caitlin Clark Kobe 5 PEs that dropped in the Indiana Fever colorway, and talked about a potential Kobe 6 that was dropping in the I forget what they call it. It's like that light blue colorway. So we don't know exactly when that's dropping or what's going on with that. But I'm pulling it up for you guys here. So Caitlin Clark just debuted the other night the Cookie Monster PE, as they're dubbing it. I really like this colorway. It's Kobe 6. It's dressed up in this almost like cobalt blue, and the tongue has a nice like cream and black hit, which is supposed to be reminiscent, obviously, of a cookie. Now, I'm a big fan of when Nike does colorways like this that have this nod to things outside of basketball in terms of whether it's like food or pop culture or whatever, TV shows, etc. And most notably, Nike just did the Ja Morant Kool-Aid pack. They also did, in the past, they've done the LeBron 9 LeBron Palmers, which are inspired by LeBron's favorite drink, and obviously Arnold Palmer Arizona iced tea. In addition to that, we've seen like the Stewie colorways of LeBron's, based off a Family Guy for LeBron. So very cool to see that Nike is still going with those nods and those little um, Easter eggs on shoes. So I'm hoping that these are going to be coming out. There's no official information yet as to when exactly, if at all, these will be dropping, but it's going. I mean, monochromatic Kobe's, for some reason, specifically the Kobe sixes, for some reason they just hit every single time. So I'm very excited that they keep doing this, and I hope they keep dropping them, because we've seen the success of the Kobe six Grinches. We've seen the success of the reverse Grinches. Obviously, the All Star 2.0s and that all off white cream colorway is extremely fire. I've showed it to you guys here on the podcast. And then we have we're looking at right now. We got the Cookie Monsters, and coming up this week, the Total Oranges, right? So if there is a drop that ends up happening with these, once something officially comes out, I will definitely be covering it. But this specific colorway of the Kobe sixes has been flying across social media within the past 48 hours. So had to touch about it a bit. Real quick, guys, I know I'm interrupting again, but I just wanted to ask that if you're enjoying the episode and you're watching on YouTube, do me a huge favor and like the episode, as well as subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to stay up to date on all my content and catch more of my episodes, be sure to hit that notification bell. If you guys are watching or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you could do me a huge favor by following, as well as give it a rating. I hope you guys are enjoying, and let's get back to the episode. So in other sneaker news, we have the upcoming Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low fragment. I'm pulling up for you guys right now. If you guys have been into sneakers for some time, specifically since 2017, you would know that obviously Travis Scott has been on an absolute tear when it comes to collaborations with Nike and Jumpman. It looks like on September 20th, we're going to be seeing, for a retail price of $150, the third fragment, or the third triple collab with Fragment. We saw back in 2021 the Fragment Jordan 1 High and Low drop in collaboration with Travis Scott. And now, after 4 years, we're finally seeing the mythical third colorway with the Fragment collab that was teased. I think it back in 2023, or even honestly earlier than that. There might have been some rumblings of that within the community, but officially we are seeing these drop, like I said, on September 20th. They have an all white upper with a blue back tab, a blue sock liner, blue Nike swoosh, and a blue outsole. Obviously, it's a Travis Scott shoe, or Travis Scott Jordan, so it's going to have the cream midsole, the cream laces. It's going to come with a few other laces as well. I'll pull up another photo for you guys. There we go. It's a better angle for you guys to see. So this is the 12th Jordan 1 that we are seeing Travis Scott collab on. First, we had the Mocha 1 highs, the Mocha 1 lows. You got the reverse mochas. You got the two olive colorways. You got the golf shoes. You got the phantoms, the brown velvets, the canaries. You got the Fragment 1 highs, the Fragment 1 lows, and obviously we have the second Fragment 1 lows. So these, who knows what stock numbers are yet. I don't think anything's been released yet, but these are definitely expected to sell out, and I'm sure resell is going to be pretty substantial compared to the other Fragment colorways. I think those are both around the $1,000 to $1,300 mark. The price range, I think, generally sets around about $1,200 for those. But if you guys were on social media quite a bit from 2021 to about 2023, I think almost every single influencer and TikToker, YouTuber, what have you, is wearing the Fragment 1 lows. So very much expect this upcoming drop, or this upcoming colorway, to probably be around that level of hype and excitement. So I'm going to definitely be going for a pair. I'm hoping that I hit on them. I've never hit for retail a pair of Travis Scott Jordans. I do have the brown velvets, but I actually ended up winning that as a prize at SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale this past January. So I have not gotten a single Travis Scott Jordan 1 for retail. So hopefully this is the one that I do hit on. But moving on to other sneaker news, and my favorite in terms of the upcoming sneaker news is we have the Tom Sachs Nike Craft Mars Yard 3.0s. So I'm pulling up the official newsroom post by Nike for you guys. If you're unfamiliar with the Nike Mars Yard, Nike, through Tom Sachs, who is a New York native and artist, he created Nike Craft, which is essentially his art studio through Nike. And they designed these footwear pieces, the Mars Yard 1.0, which originally dropped back in 2012, which is very limited, only a few thousand pairs in existence. And obviously resale prices are through the roof with that. But they designed the Mars Yard 1.0, and we've seen a few iterations of that shoe since then. Let me just check my notes here. In 2017, we saw the 2.0s. In 2019, we saw the overshoe, which was a Mars Yard with like a boot sock thing over it. We saw the 2.5 version for wear testers last year, which the only way that you were able to gain access to that was being a verified Nike wear tester. You couldn't even keep the shoes. You had to give them back at the end of the wear testing window. And then now in 2025, we're having the 3.0 version. We also did actually see 3 colorways of a Nike Craft general purpose shoe, which dropped in 2022 and 2023. There were 3 colorways. You had the Studio, which was a white colorway, Archive, which was yellow, and then there was an all brown colorway. I actually have all 3 of those, but I'll throw that up for you guys on screen so that you guys can see what all 3 colorways look like. Which is really interesting because the resale prices of the Mars Yard was like through the roof, but then when it came to the general purpose shoes, the resale value on those is so low. So if you guys want a Nike Craft shoe that isn't the Mars Yard, but which is a good cheaper alternative, it is the general purpose shoe. Each of the Mars Yards, though, from the 1.0 to the 3.0, the idea is to have continuous improvement and innovation within the models. So if you look at all of the different models that they've dropped, each of them, the materials have been changed, different elements obviously are changed in terms of construction of the shoe and so forth, just to be more durable and to be more useful in terms of everyday wear. They take inspiration from NASA and space travel, and so they tried to design the shoes in that to cater to that inspiration. So to obtain these, they'll be retailing, from what I've seen, for a retail price of $275. As we speak, Nike did just launch the ISRU Camp app, which ISRU stands for In Situation Resource Utilization, which is a process within space travel where you would send a device to a planet or extraterrestrial surface, and it starts developing resources that the astronauts would be able to use for resources to sustain and have habitable environments within the surface of a planet. Mars specifically is the one that we're looking at, obviously, given that these are the Mars Yards. And so what ISRU Camp is every week, I'll pull this other article up for you guys. And actually, let's play the video. I'll play the video for you guys really quick.
Don't care how many free throws you make, but step up to the line. Don't care how many push-ups you do, just get down and do them. Don't care what kind of camper you are, but show up to camp. This is ISRU Summer Camp. where showing up is what matters most. Do the challenges, a new one each week. Some are for the body, some for the mind, some are for both. The more you do them, the more they matter. Participation will change your life. Download the ISRU app from the App Store and sign up for camp. Claim your place on the leaderboard.
Welcome to camp.
Welcome to camp.
Welcome to camp.
Welcome to camp.
Break your habit.
Find your ritual.
So as you guys can see from that video, the idea is that like every week they're going to be dropping new challenges for you to complete in order to obtain the sneakers. It's going to run from this. So we're recording this on Thursday, the 17th. So as of today, the ISRU camp has started, and like the first one is 10 free throws. So you have to complete this for like the next week. You have to complete 10 free throws a day. There's gonna be some other challenges that they drop, such as like quizzes and probably like stuff like exercise related, like push-ups and so forth. So definitely expecting them to drop a lot of that stuff. And what happens, I guess, is as you're going through these weeks, you complete these challenges, you get added to a leaderboard, and at the end of this period, which it seems as of September 5th is when you'll become eligible to purchase. Once you hit a certain threshold or certain status within the platform, the app, that is, you become eligible to purchase the shoe. So really cool way to create exclusivity, and just in terms of like a marketing standpoint, it's genius to be able to get a lot of foot traffic to the drop. So very excited for this drop. Very exciting to see that there is a new model that is coming out. They've already confirmed that the 4.0 is already in development, which no surprise there, because they were already developing obviously the 3.0 at the time that the 2.5 had already been out for wear testing purposes. So I'm sure in comparison to the other Mars yards that have dropped, this will have some substantial resell. But if it doesn't, which would be, honestly, it'd be kind of awesome for anybody that really wants a Mars yard. If resale prices are very low, which I'm not expecting that, obviously, but if they are really low, I mean, if you're somebody that wants a Mars yard, definitely pick them up. I mean, it's definitely the move to do. But we shall see what ends up happening come September in terms of the resale prices. So let's move out of sneaker news. Let's move on to crypto week. So I'm pulling this up for you guys right now. So from this article, what you guys can see is the House passed 3 bills pertaining to crypto, specifically the Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency, known as the CBDC Act. You have the Digital Asset Markets Clarity Act of 2025, and the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, also known as the Genius Act. The Genius Act is legislation that establishes a regulatory framework for stablecoins, a type of cryptocurrency often tethered to the value of the U.S. dollar or another asset, which makes them a more secure investment than other cryptocurrencies. The act would essentially establish guidelines for banks and other entities that issue stablecoins and safeguards for stablecoin holders. The Anti-CBDC Act prohibits the Federal Reserve from issuing a central bank digital currency, which critics say could facilitate financial monitoring and surveillance by the federal government. The reason that this is such an important act is because the whole idea behind cryptocurrency is that it's decentralized finance. So there's no one entity or government that is able to control everything relating to that currency. That's the whole that was the whole function of why Bitcoin was essentially created in the beginning. And when it comes to centralized bank digital currency, the government obviously would have control of that currency. And from a national security standpoint, obviously that's a current concern, because God forbid something happens or the infrastructure is hacked, right? then all of a sudden the digital currency is wiped out, right? The other major concern is that the government could also artificially inflate or deflate the currency, essentially making inflation just the click of a button. Because as of right now, obviously inflation occurs the more you print money. But if you can just instantly change the value of a digital currency, which is the click of a button like that, it you could just completely tank an economy, or again the value of the currency, and anybody that holds that currency would lose significant leverage with their assets. So it is very good that they did pass this bill, as this was, like I said, a major concern within the crypto community, as well as within for those within the government that were pro crypto. The third bill that was passed was the Digital Asset Markets Clarity Act. It would divide regulatory jurisdiction for digital assets between the Commodity Futures Trading Commissions and the Securities and Exchange Commission. This bill would establish definitions of 3 types of digital assets: securities, commodities, and stablecoins, and assign regulatory duties to each agency. The benefit of this for anybody that's obviously in crypto or is new to crypto and wants to understand more about that is crypto currently, or rather the current administration that we're seeing is the most crypto, or most pro crypto that we've ever seen up until this point. And within the financial markets, if there is no adoption or regulation or anything of that when it comes to new investments in assets, then the assets that you're holding don't necessarily have use or value. They may have value on paper or on your screen, right? But until you can actually use those for something, they are just numbers, right? And by the government passing these bills to establish some sort of framework and adoption for these assets, specifically cryptocurrencies, that allows for more wider spread adoption within the financial markets and legitimacy to the currencies, which is very good. And I'll throw it up on screen for you guys here. But as you can see, the past week, it has been quite the increase in value across the entire cryptocurrency market. So moving on to our main story. So if you have been on social media the past couple days, you would have seen the crazy scandal caught at the Coldplay concert at Gillette Stadium. I'm pulling it up for you guys right now. So on Wednesday, this was last night, footage from a Coldplay concert went viral after the Jumbotron displayed a couple comfortably watching the concert, a man with his arms around a woman. As soon as the pair noticed that they were being filmed, they startled, moving away and hiding their faces. The dramatic reaction and live commentary from Coldplay's lead singer, Chris Martin, who joked either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Now, I'll play the video for you guys right now so that you guys see what I am talking about. So, obviously, a real rough scene. It turned out that the 2 people within the company, or rather within the video, were the CEO of the company Astronomer, Andy Byron, and his VP of Human Resources, Kristen Cabot. Kind of crazy. It seems that Human Resources is now turning into hotel rooms, because clearly what we just saw was not supposed to be caught on camera and was not supposed to be out there. So I would not be surprised that after this weekend, we would expect that both of these people will be leaving the company. I will definitely touch upon this a little bit next episode if anything does come out, and I'll definitely throw up a photo during post-production if anything does come out. But I would not be surprised if we see both the CEO and this VP end up stepping down, because within the past 48 hours, they have had hundreds of millions of views across all different social media platforms. And Astronomer right now is probably taking some crazy heat, because for a data company within the tech space, being known for their CEO cheating on his wife, as well as the VP cheating on her husband, does not look good for the company. So definitely expect some interesting news to come with that in the future. So moving on to our last topic is going to be the some sports news. So this coming weekend is UFC 318. Is going to be Dustin Poirier's last fight, and he's fighting Max Holloway. So anybody that hasn't been following UFC, and honestly anybody that has been following UFC, this fight, I'm pulling it up for you guys here now. This fight is Holloway versus Poirier 3, and it is Dustin Poirier's last fight within the UFC, and it is the essentially close out to this saga that we've seen over the past 10 plus years. Back in 2012, Max Holloway's first fight, first debut fight, was against Dustin Poirier. And so now, as Dustin Poirier's last fight, he's fighting Max Holloway, and it is definitely going to be a very emotional fight, emotional night in UFC. Both Hall of Fame worthy fighters, completing this trilogy of fights over, after 12 plus years of fighting, and I couldn't see a better way to, finish off off Dustin Poirier's legacy within UFC and mixed martial arts in general. Personally, I would love to see Poirier win, but I'm expecting that it will end up being Max Holloway, just because Max Holloway is just an insane boxer and just fighter in general within the weight class. So a lot of people are banking on Poirier winning, but who knows? We'll see. I'll definitely touch upon this in next week's episode as a follow-up, because whether Poirier or Holloway win, it is going to be a great fight overall, and they got some other crazy fights that are happening this weekend as well. So definitely some exciting stuff to look forward to. So that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. I appreciate you all for tapping in as per usual. Let me know what your thoughts are on the topics that we covered today in the comment section below. Specifically, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on who's winning this fight between Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. Hit me up on IG at the JPD Podcast or my personal Instagram at JohnLukePaulDaigle. Love to be able to engage with you guys some more. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to smash the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to follow as well as give it a rating. On another note, definitely make sure that if you are watching on YouTube and you want to stay up to date on all my episodes, be sure to hit that notification bell. Other than that, guys, be sure to check out my videos on my other channel at JohnLukePaulDaigle, specifically the upcoming review that I'm going to be doing on the Caitlin Clark Kobe 5s. That will be dropping at some point within the next week or two. Other than that, guys, this was the JPD Podcast. Thank you for coming for the culture, and I'll catch you guys in the next conversation.
It's time to honor MLK and Malik Shabazz. Paradox teaches class while we speak to reach the mass. Yeah, shame on those who think we need to delete the past. We need to educate so our kids forge a better path. If the future is a glass, mine is half full. I had to leave the internet because I can't stand bull. And there's no need for profanity when conversing candidly. Facts are just that. Follow the cure for insanity.